right, and welcome to the Trusted Advisor Show. My name is Rob Jacobin, and I'm your co-host today. And I'm joined by, again, the coolest co-hosting team on the planet. We've got Ryan and Devin. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good,
Doing
Rob.
awesome, Rob.
All right, awesome.
Better now that I got that introduction. Nice
Good.
ego
Yeah.
boost.
Got to spice up the
Good start to the
introductions.
day.
Got to spice it up a little bit. But hey, we were kind of talking offline, and one of the things we wanted to do today, we want to actually do something different. And I think with all the uncertainty that's going on in the world, and there's just so many different things going on. I think one of the things we want to do is be a little more raw, and a little bit more real about some of the things that we're hearing in the marketplace as we're talking to clients, as we're talking to prospective clients, as we're also talking amongst each other. Um, you know, as guys who are in business, all the things that we're seeing, it sometimes feels a little overwhelming. And I even talked to personally some of my closest friends, and we talked about some of the, even the mental side of all this. And it's okay to talk about it. And we have to be open and honest about some of the things that are going on right now. We're now on week 17 of this situation, and
Crazy.
it's
Unbelievable.
really
It's
Crazy to think it's
unbelievable.
been that long.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you know what the
It
reality
seems
is?
normal now. It seems normal.
hmm
It is the new normal. But the reality is, I've never personally had a more difficult time in business, only because while there's still opportunity, while there's still a lot of positive things, and I always have that positive mentality, the bottom line is it hasn't been easy. It's because it has created a new normal. And the problem is when you have people who are extroverted, you can be extroverted or introverted. It doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is it's still everyone deals with this in a different way. So guys, I'll throw this question out. I mean, we'll just get the ball rolling. We'll dive right in. We talked about having a theme today, and I think the theme should revolve around the idea of uncertainty. What do you do when the outlook is uncertain? Because I think that's what we're starting to hear the most from clients, prospective clients, our friends, all of us together. We don't know what the future holds. So how do we manage, number one, our mindset, but also how do you manage how to create a plan for your business moving forward when there's so much darn uncertainty? What do you do?
Yeah, that is a very good question. You know, I'll talk about it from our perspective because obviously we're business owners too, and we are in the business of uncertainty to a sense, or in a sense, I guess you could say. Our job partially is to try to help people plan for the future and, in a way, try to predict what you think might happen, or at least protect against the negative or bad things that can happen with what's going on now. That is completely, like, it's not in the playbook, I guess you could say. Like,
Yeah.
it's not something that anybody planned for. It's not anything that a lot of people were trained or equipped for as a business owner. Maybe people in the medical field got that kind of training that's necessary for moments like this. But in terms of running your business, if you've been in business for the last 10, 15, 20 years, nothing like this has really ever happened. There's been financial crisis, there's been other things, but all things considered, you were able to weather the storm. Now, when we're talking about something that's medical, that's essentially, we can't go out and find it and make it go away. It's there. We don't know where it is, when you're talking about a virus and a global pandemic. And so when you're building a plan around that, it's really hard to figure out where you need to start. I think the best thing that we can all do as business owners is know our numbers, know our people, know who's important to our business and who and what is vital to our business, and figure out how we can, at minimum, maintain that trajectory or that flow of just kind of treading water at this point. I mean, it's hard to say. I've talked to several of our clients who are in very different boats. It's in the construction industry. We have a couple clients that are busier than they've ever been. They have too much work.
Yep.
And then I talked to a restaurateur the other day, and even with indoor dining and drinking allowed at bars and restaurants, there are still only a 50% capacity. People just aren't coming out to
Yep.
do that. And for them to be profitable, they really need to be at a 75% rate of normal sales volume. So in order to plan for the future for a business like that, and we're talking specific to that restaurant, unfortunately, you're kind of just treading water at this point. You need to do what you're good at and keep selling a good product so that and take other measures as well. But when we're talking about safety, but keep putting a good product out there with the hopes that you can maintain some kind of customer loyalty. So when this is all over, you can pick up business as usual.
Yep.
And we talked a lot in our series about business continuity planning and having contingencies. Um, and that's important. It's still going to be the most important thing. So I think because we're already in the thick of it, having that business continuity planning conversation is a really good thing to do. Obviously, when you're in the middle of a pandemic, but that's really geared towards pre-planning, getting out ahead of things like that, so we don't have to create a continuity plan on the fly when we're already in the thick of it, and you're trying to implement that plan, and there's things out of your control like government mandates, or a local municipality saying you can't operate anymore because you're not an essential business. That's a really hard thing to plan for.
Oh yeah.
Um, and there's really no right answer. I think it depends on the industry, it depends on the person. But we spend a lot of time talking with people in various industries they're having different problems. And for those construction clients, they've probably in a lot of circumstances, especially ones that involve outside work, when the winter hits, they're going to be in the same boat that all the restaurants and some of those other businesses are in. So the best thing that we can do is say, let's project to the future and make the assumption that if you're in business now, there's a good chance that it's not going to get better. It might get worse when we get into flu season. Um, one tend to be more prevalent. Um, let's plan for that and let's crunch the numbers and see what needs to be done. Unfortunately, there's a lot of tough decisions that need to be made, and but business owners are committed people. People start businesses because they love to do something. So um, it's it's a hard thing to do, I guess. And where you start is really just, it boils down to, what do you see for your future, and do you want to, are you willing to put in the work to kind of reinvent yourself and to restart your business again, essentially from square one, not making any money like you did when you originally started it, with understanding that that's another investment for the future. And that's really the best, that's putting your best foot forward in a lot of different aspects. And that's what we're doing. And we've been blessed. We've done operationally and financially well throughout this, but not everyone's in that boat. So we want to take what we've learned and what we see, and also what we know professionally, and help businesses do what they can to thrive. You're not going to be able to save, or reverse the course of what's already happened. But what we can do is try to make the path ahead as smooth as possible.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the other thing. This thing goes well beyond just planning. This thing has become, now listen, I think the elephant in the room, if we're all going to be honest, is the mental toll that this thing has taken on everyone. And I don't know about you guys, I'm all COVID out, like zoomed out. I got all these, I'm ready for things to get back to business as normal. However, here's
You
the
need some
problem.
human interaction.
Exactly. Here's the issue though. Uh, there's a mental part of this, right? I'm talking to business owners who maybe aren't as blessed and who aren't, they had the dream and they're seeing that dream kind of crumble right before their eyes. They don't even know if they can make payroll. I talked to a restaurant owner yesterday, and he's like, "It's exactly the same thing, Ron." I looked around and there was like, again, we had face masks and we sat down outdoor. It was uh, an outdoor place, but literally there were four tables of people. That's it. I mean, the place was has the capacity to handle a lot more, but all I kept thinking was, I wish there was something I could do for
Yeah.
this business owner. I wish there was something I could do for him to make him feel better. I'm even talking to friends, COIs who, we're just being honest with each other, right? It's okay to talk about mental health. And it's something that I don't think we spend any time dealing with is we're not meant to be isolated like this. And we're not meant to go
Yeah.
through some of these challenges. And I don't know about you, Devin. What have you done? Let's get personal here. What have you done to help kind of manage that part that you this is like the new normal and it's not an easy transition to make. It's not easy to accept. But what have you done? What kind of challenges have you faced and what have you done to try to work through those things?
I think one of the biggest challenges is, I'm a very social person. I like being out there with people. So not getting that interaction on a daily basis has been tough. How do I redirect that energy to something else to kind of help us, get through this and succeed? So I really channeled a lot of that energy into really the operations of our company, really doing the operational, the efficiency of it, and really making sure that when we do have opportunities with clients, that is as seamless as possible. Because right now, you might not get as many opportunities as you would in normal circumstances. So when you do have those opportunities, you got to make it perfect. Got to make it absolutely perfect. So I think really working on operational and client onboarding, that client experience is critical right now, as well as marketing. We started doing some Facebook ads. We've started doing reaching out on LinkedIn and really talking, trying to grow some new relationships to kind of drive business in. And we've been very fortunate that we've gotten referrals. We've had people reach out who needed our help. So we've been very blessed. But with that, we've also perfected our onboarding experience to make those people feel welcome and want to do business with us. So we could very easily have had these great opportunities, not been ready for a situation like this,
Mhm.
and where everything's just kind of all over the place and unorganized, and they're like, this is crazy. People very easily could have in that situation said, I'm going to wait. I don't think you guys are ready for it. It's kind of weird doing it this way, but we made it very efficient, very easy. And one of the things that a big decision Ryan and I made early on in our company, which was a risky investment, but we invested heavily in technology.
Mhm.
And that's just, it paid off tenfold. And we're still looking at new technologies because it's amazing what's out there. If you open your eyes and test new softwares and new things that help bring on clients, that's been critical for us. So it's been great.
Brian?
Yeah, I was gonna say our timing was impeccable. I think we
It was
invested in
it's unbelievable.
we we onboarded probably a pretty large suite of technology at the beginning of March, and 2 weeks later we were using we were covering every corner of every single one of those programs that we thought we would have time to learn it and to implement it, and we had to learn quickly. But I
Very.
think success for any business comes when you work hard, you put systems and processes in place, and the opportunity presents itself to execute and to implement, and that's where you achieve success. Right now it's an unfortunate situation. I mean, it's unfortunate for everyone. I mean, we're fortunate. My fiance is in the medical field. She still goes to work every day, so this is like a normal situation for her.
Yep.
She's at the hospital every single day, Monday to Friday. um, and for me, the daily routine, I was talking to one of my other clients this morning, and we were talking about how the routine, she's in a position too where things are just different. You get used to getting up in the morning, you have your coffee, you drive into the office, you meet, you see the people there, you meet with people face to face, and that just doesn't exist anymore. So you have to
Yep.
change your whole focus. Now, the beautiful thing about technology is we have stuff like this where we can see each
Exactly.
other, but it's not the same, right?
Right.
So I, I our conversations with all of our clients, especially the business owners, is this is really unfortunate, but where can we find opportunity in this to either pivot or in some cases, maybe it's a good time to reinvent your business. The pen
Mhm.
and paper approach obviously doesn't work in global pandemics. So, a perfect business can still have holes. There's still gaps there that need to be filled. And so this is one that, this is that blindsided sucker punch that nobody saw coming, and it knocked a lot of people out. I mean,
Yep.
and it didn't matter how tough you are or how profitable your business was. If you were in the wrong industry, it happened. So, that's the unfortunate part about this. We try to see the positives in things and take the opportunities to put people on the path, on a path towards success, and whether that's success again or achieving new success. We had a client recently that started his own business out of this. He saw an opportunity, and a lot of businesses were had a need for what he offered, and so that's another thing too, is that people that are employees of companies may have opportunities to go, if their employer or if there's businesses that aren't changing with the times or aren't catching up, on this accelerated path that we've kind of been launched onto. Could be a good opportunity to explore your own dreams and aspirations, maybe start a business. So those are the types of conversations that we have on a daily basis, and some are super positive, and some, you know, it's negative, and there's really not much else you can do about it. But that's that's the reality that we're faced with, and we try to make the best of everything, and I think we all agree on that. And that's why we provide the resources that we do, right? I mean,
Yep.
if there's a business out there, Fortune 500 companies would be fine. They're getting government assistance. The airline industry is getting some pretty hefty backing from the federal government to keep them afloat. The shop down the street, right here on my street, they don't have that. They have to survive on their own. And so when you're talking about Main Street, which is, a lot of it incorporates a lot of companies. It's a broad range, but when you're out there on your own, we all have to help each other out as a business community and kind of prop each other up so that on the back side of this, we're all still in business, because that's important to not just our futures, but the people that we provide our goods, services, and other things to. What our business brings to the community.
I
So
agree.
that's the focus. That's what we're trying to do. And so far it's been successful, and knock on wood, it continues to be.
Yep. Here's a couple things here are my thoughts, and how maybe we can be of value to somebody, maybe just one person listening or watching. And that is, if you're going through, so it's not all bad, right? There's a couple things I would recommend. Number one is stop watching the news. Okay. Stop
Mm.
watching the news, and stay away from toxic, negative people. Like, no offense, if it's somebody, it's a family member, or if it's one of your colleagues, or somebody that you work with, or um, another business owner that you've had a relationship with, and it's just like, if it becomes so negative, get it out of your life and focus on the things that you can control. What things can you control? Sit down and have a conversation with yourself or someone you really value and trust, and say, okay, this is the reality. This is what I have to deal with. If I have to reinvent myself, or do a side hustle, or come up with a new business idea, or whatever it takes, you have to focus all of your energy on that, because that's the positive way to look at this. So, if you need a support group, if you need to be part of it and just be able to share freely what's going on in your mind and mentally, uh, sit down and have a cup of coffee with somebody. Obviously, you want to be safe and social distance and wear your mask and protect yourself and other people. But get out there, get out there, and well, I did that the other day. I have, coffee, or, hey, let's grab lunch in an outdoor place. And you know what? Nothing made my day more. And then walking away, being able to talk to another human being who's maybe going through the same thing I'm going through.
Sure.
But on a positive note, the thing to take away from today is focus on the things that you can control. Don't be afraid to talk to other people about some of the things and the challenges that you're facing. And the reality is, here's the reality. You may have to change your model. You may have to pivot, whatever you want to call it, reinventing yourself. You have to do whatever it takes to take care of yourself, to take care of your family, whatever your situation is, because there's no amount of planning in the world that can take care of all the uncertainty that we're facing. Planning is good, but there's so much uncertainty that the best thing you can do is just stay focused on the things that you can control. You can't worry about the government. They're not going to take care of everything, every little last detail. Here's the thing. I'm also having, like, me personally, there's still a lot of business to be had out there. And you just have to get out there and get yourself out there, get out of your comfort zone. You may have to set a goal for yourself. You might have to say, listen, I'm going to make 20 connections today or 10, or just start, make one and then build some momentum. And you'd be really surprised. There's a lot of people out there right now who are willing and able to do business with you. So LinkedIn is such a powerful tool that most of the people that are on LinkedIn want to do business. So why not reach out and start building relationships? That would be my advice, as I'm thinking about some of the things that would be valuable to impart on you guys. It's worked for me. And as I'm talking to other colleagues and even other business owners, that seems to be working really, really well to build relationships and to keep that momentum going, fueling that fire. And, and just focusing as much as you can on all the positive and the good things. And you know what? Being grateful. Having When you fill yourself with gratitude and you're grateful for all the amazing things that are going on, it's really hard to get depressed. It's really hard to feel down. It's really hard to not have a positive outlook. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but that would be my raw, honest, just like, let's have a real conversation, advisement right now as we're going through all this uncertainty.
Yep. The human brain's the crazy thing, Rob. When you think positive, good things will happen, but you want to let the negativity control yourself and your brain. It's always seems like nothing good's ever want to happen or will happen. So it's positivity is key.
Yep. And by the way, real men wear pink, and it's not. This is not actually pink. It's actually salmon pink.
Oh, okay.
But when I wear pink, but when I wear pink socks, it's not okay. I see. All right.
No, it's okay because we can't see it on video, so it's all right. Ryan, as we're getting close to wrapping things up today, uh, what resonated with you the most, as far as, like, if there's a positive outcome, or if there is some light at the end of the tunnel with all this uncertainty? What are some things that folks can do? Maybe a top three or few things people can start doing right now to really, kind of take more control and of the things that they can control, and look forward to the future.
Yeah. So I would say that, number one, first and foremost, keep going, keep pushing. I mean, we are all in very similar boats in terms of how businesses what opportunities are out there, how we can respond to what's going on. So number one is just keep going. As long as you can find it in yourself to continue to do that, do it. I think the second thing is something that it's a theme that we always come back to, but I still think it's important. There are things as a business and a business owner that are essential, or in some cases mandated, that you have. Insurances, you have to have, maybe it's a retirement plan, maybe it's benefits, maybe it's, and look, this isn't a plug for us. These are all things that we do. But here's my point: every single person, vendor out there that you transact that business with gets paid to be in your corner 100% of the time. So this is where I think people like us can really earn our money. And I think this is where business owners can really get a large amount of value. I know things are busy. You're trying to keep your head above water, but one thing I would suggest is don't kick the can down the road, because you're just going to create this. It's a snowball effect. It's
Mhm.
going to start as a really small problem, and by the time it needs to be fixed as a really big problem, you're not going to have time then either. So, I'd start attacking things and be proactive. Reach out to people. Some people in your circle might have some creative, outside the box ideas. And, we do that. We get ideas from people outside of our industry. We have people like you, Rob, and other partners that we'll reach out to, and they'll give us an idea. They'll drop a little nugget. We'll say, you know what? We could twist that around and kind of repackage it for our industry, and it could work the same way. So I think leverage the resources that you have to. You don't have to pay a consultant to come in and teach you how to navigate this. You pay a lot of different consultants that all have different areas of expertise. Bring them in, get your board together, phone call, Zoom, in some states, maybe in person if it's still allowed, whatever your preference is. The point is, those people should be there to serve you, get your value out of them. And that's what we're trying to do with our clients. That's why the whole reason we started this podcast is to be proactive and get information out to the business community before they really, really needed us, and to be proactive, not reactive. So I think those are the two things. Like, keep going. Don't get discouraged. We're all in that boat. We all get it. Keep rowing forward, and use the people that you already have around you that you pay, and squeeze every ounce of value you can out of those relationships, because it's there. The ideas, the path forward, all of that, the strategy, it's there. You just have to find it.
Yep.
And so that's what I would leave everyone with.
And I would say this too. If you're not, and now's also a good time if you're not getting the value. If you're not, again, and you're right, it's not a plug. The fact of the matter is, for us, the fact of the matter is, if you're not getting the value, now's a good time as any to look out there and see what else is out there. Because, like I always say, you don't know what you don't know until you get out there and you start saying, "Man, I'm not getting this," or "I really missed out on this." And, or "Wow, that really resonated with me." The business owner I talked to the other day said to me, you know, these are the things that when I started bringing up some things that it's another perspective.
Mhm.
She was saying to me, she's like, "Well, boy, that idea was never brought to my attention, for how to solve that problem." And I think when you just listen and you hear out what are your goals as a business owner, like what are your goals? This is about you, not about me. This is about you. How can I help you solve a problem that you're having and come up with the best solution possible that is also cost effective? Because, again, another thing is, another value proposition might be, people are looking to save money. People are looking for areas and opportunity to make a positive financial impact on their business. And if you have something like that for someone, you have an obligation to share it with the world. Like, if you have a solution that everyone needs to know about and you really believe in it, then you need to share it, and do it now. Don't wait. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Right. So, Devin, that's actually a great segue. Devin, same question is what also would you recommend as we're, thinking about being positive and looking for ways to navigate uncertainty? What things would you recommend?
Just entrench yourself in your business. I know obviously you have to be positive, but always looking to adapt. Research other people that are being successful. Who in your industry? Because if you're in a certain industry, everybody's most likely going through the same thing. So research what other people are doing that might be doing successful, and try to put your own spin on it. Just dig deep in, and we all have probably a little more time on our hands being at home more often. So just dig in and just try to get as creative as possible. And adapting is a good thing. Changing, you look at all the business in the past who didn't adapt, Blockbuster, Kodak, all of them. They thought they had a perfect product and perfect process, but there's always going to be something bigger, better, prettier, whatever it is. So just
Not
really
as
dig deep
not
and
as handsome or pretty as you, though. You knew that was coming, right?
okay.
Oh boy. No, we like to keep this light also, because we're talking about a serious topic, and
Yeah.
um we're all going through similar challenges, and mentally, emotionally, and maybe even physically too, because frankly the gyms aren't open. So, like, that's such an important, and we'll do a whole episode. I think would be great to have somebody from, like, the health and wellness community
Mm.
on with us and talk about how important it is in business to maintain, like, you need that balance. You need to be, that's like a major thing, is your physical, taking care of your physical self, your mental self, maybe, talk about meditation and the benefits of of mindfulness. Like all that stuff's really important to this whole bigger picture that I don't think I see enough people out there on podcasts or business. Everyone's so business related, but the fact is we need balance. And
Sure.
any edge we can get to be, to up our game, up our performance in those areas to keep ourselves healthy and well makes us even better as business people. And that's I think what we're all after. So listen, if you got value from anything we talked about today, even if it was one nugget or one thing you got out of that you can take action on, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button because that helps us out, but also gives us an opportunity to see what's resonating with you guys. And we'd love to hear your comments. We'd love to hear your suggestions on other topics. But that being said, we're so grateful that you took the time out of your day to listen and watch today, and we've got some really hot topics and other things coming up on future shows. So we're super excited about that. So with that being said, all right, guys, have a great rest of your week and knock it out of the park and do everything you can, given the uncertainty, do everything you can to keep your dream alive and keep going after your goals and try to make it happen. And that's what we can impart on you today. All right, guys, have a good one.